So Robin, you're out in California?
No, I'm in Florida.
Oh, ha, that's close. And so sorry about that. So you have what was the title of person you contacted? Uh, you've got a friend, an estate planner, you said?
Well, she's an elder attorney, so she only deals with, seniors and their issues, probate, um, estate planning. She does all that.
Hmm. And you, when you said you had some experience with her, maybe the family needed help or some guidance from this person. Um, did you meet with her in person or was it over the phone or over Zoom?
In person.
Even better. Was it in the last 12 months or a long time ago or
Well, the first time I met with her was the first time I met, it was actually the actual attorney who runs the whole thing. Her name is Amy Fossen, and I met with her first, and that was like say 2 years ago. And then recently, about 4 months ago, I made another appointment, but it turned out that her daughter is doing that department now for what I needed as far as getting stuff in order.
sure.
And we had a really nice long conversation. And so I met her and her assistant that helps her. And they've reached out a couple times since then, asking if I wanted to move forward in what we talked about, um and also just, to give them, reach out to them if I had any other questions or whatever. So
Mhm. Okay, so you're a client of this professional organization, and they are a golden goose because they do probate, they do seniors, and everything else classifies them as a golden goose. And so let me think for a second here. So you'd like to do a sit down and tell them about, um, I'll say this, I'm thinking out loud where you and I are talking. On Friday of last week, I had a Zoom call with a probate attorney that does estate planning and wills and trust. She does the whole thing. She's out of Kansas and Missouri. I was in a Zoom call with a personal injury attorney that I know back in St. Louis. He was the introducer, right? He doesn't have listings to give because um, he's in more litigation than he is um, he represents families, while she represents families if somebody had passed away who's got to do a will and trust. Long story short, I had an introducer. Um, he's on the Zoom call. I'm in Florida. She's in Kansas. He's in St. Louis, but she does a lot of probate deals. Um, so your situation is you're a client. You didn't introduce like a CPA. But by the way, so the probate attorney in Kansas City, um, I wasn't asking for any introduction from the probate attorney who does wills and trust. Wasn't asking, and I'm thinking out loud, if I'm in your shoes and I'm a client, um, what is it? It's like two parts. What is it I'm going to give versus what I'm going to ask to receive? If we go in right away saying, can I receive referrals from you?
I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's okay.
I'm trying to get Carter back.
So this is two parts.
Okay.
The um, I can hear somebody in your background, so thanks for muting it. Okay, so in order to get a golden goose that has got all this business to give to you, um, there's that phrase, it's better to give than it is to receive. Well,
Mhm.
most agents, most salespeople want to receive without giving. And how Um, how do you got a good relationship? Um, you've spent money with them as a client. How do we convert um, that relationship where you can give them something
Right.
before you ask to receive? I mean, it's really a really good example. This is a good case study on you've got a relationship with the Golden Goose, but you're a client. And how do we convert that? Um, First we give before we receive. So now they keep calling you because they want you to spend money
Right.
and become a client even more so. And in the meantime, let's say her name is Heather, and you said to Heather in a follow-up, um, we're still contemplating some of those things, Heather, to do with you as the attorney. But in the meantime, I had this idea, and and that is, are you looking at an introduction of maybe a CPA, a financial planner, an estate planner? Um, who's a good introduction to you, Heather, the attorney? Because if we don't give something first, if we show up asking, can I have all your business? They're going to go, just another realtor. I don't
Yeah.
want to talk to any more realtors. We all know the phrase, better to give than is to receive. Why? It, in part, it helps getting things flowing. And if you said, what is it you can give? Well, I'd go back to the question of any real estate agent. What is the Golden Goose looking for? More clients. But even better, they want an introducer as well. If you can refer her that she does probate and estate planning and stuff like that, one family, that probably won't get things rolling for you.
It won't?
If you said to her, a friend of mine, church or whatever the case, um, their mother died, she was 93 years old, and they need a probate attorney. That's giving a small amount. But if you give them a Golden Goose introduction, that's a big thing. I know a lot of realtor goes, I've been giving this probate attorney maybe a deal a year, but I never get anything back. And I hear that a lot from realtors. I keep giving, but they don't give back to me. Um, so it's got to be something, but obviously, something bigger, and that's generally an introduction. So here's what I did on Friday. I said to the probate attorney with the personal injury attorney on the call, let's just call her Donna. I said, Donna, I'm not looking to ask for anything. I hold a real estate license, but I'm not asking for anything. I first need to find out who's a good introduction for you. Are you looking for a CPA with 1,000 clients because their clients die and they're like a golden goose for you? Are you looking for a financial planner that has maybe 500 clients because their clients that are elderly eventually die? If you could meet 3 to 5 of those people, Donna, would that be a good introduction for you? Because you're looking for somebody to be a referral source. I said, I can refer you a client on occasion, but a CPA can refer you 10 a year. And I said, so I'm thinking about how do I introduce you? Because this is a two-part conversation. Donna, the attorney. The first part is how do I serve you? What are you looking for? The second part is, by the way, I have a real estate license. So when you talk about your relationship, Robin, in Florida with this attorney, I'd ask you, what can you give them that, because you're kind of a relationship rainmaker. We all are. If we get that right, that we are a relationship rainmaker before we even think of ourselves as a realtor, we go, okay, how can I help the Golden Goose, in this case, Heather, the probate attorney in Florida, like I was thinking about Donna, the probate attorney in Kansas City, how do I help them first? Let's get them introduced, but we don't want to even start doing that until we've asked them some questions. So back to your story, you already know Heather, the probate attorney, but the last thing she wants is another realtor. What she wants is a contributor, a rainmaker, somebody that can bring her business. So how do you stand out amongst all the realtors that that want listings from her? If you had to guess, how many deals a year can you get from one probate attorney if they're full-time? What would you say? Because you're in the real estate business and you want to get only probate. I mean, you'll get other stuff, but Robin, if you were only going to do probate business, how many deals a year would you want to get from one probate attorney? What's logical and maybe reasonable from one person who is a full-time? What would you say?
I guess about 5 to 7.
It's about right. I'm going to actually say 7 to 10.
Okay.
You're pretty darn close. So if you want to do 2 closings a month and you're getting, let's say 7, you probably need 3. Then you're done. You need 3 probate attorneys to give you about 7 or 8 deals a year. If you want to do 2 closings a month, you don't need to do anything else. So the question is, with your friend Heather, you've already been a client of, how do you get her to say, you're the one? You can count on me. I do 50 a year. You can count on me for about 7 or 8. I can't give you everything, but I give you 7 to 8. So how do you get that golden goose to lay at golden eggs for you? Because she's got it to give. And one would hope what you've done is enough already, or she should start considering you as a referral source to give you listings. But I would say this, I don't think so. You'd hope that you were a client, that she start giving them to you, but let's not take that for granted. Let's assume you're going to get a meeting with her because you have an idea. And the idea is, Heather, the attorney, I've been thinking about you. I know some CPAs and financial planners. If I could introduce those people to you, or are you not looking for any other introductions? And if they're trying to grow their business, because I know some probate attorneys that want to get into divorce, they want to expand their services. Why? Because they're like a realtor. They're trying to do more deals. So if you and I were sitting in your dining room and your boardroom, and we're thinking through, Robin would like to have 3 probate attorneys to get to close 2 deals a month. It would be, if you're doing a sit down with the attorney and an introducer, what would the conversation be like? I'd say this, what do you have to give them? Because the golden goose is like, you get to sit down with the king or the queen, you better bring a gift, right? We go to the king or queen and go, can you give me something? Not yet. We have a relationship with the king or the queen, the golden goose, but what is it that we can give them? Not literally at that first meeting, but the idea of a gift that's coming. That's all this is. You got to give them a gift. And the gift is an introduction to an account. When you get a sit down with our fictional character, Heather here, who I don't know her real name, but you, the daughter or whatever the case. But if you can get a sit down at their office, that You would like to make, because they're so professional, you say, Heather, you guys have been great so far. I think I can make some introductions for you. But I'm curious about what kind of introductions are best for you. And you're sitting in her office, just like I was sitting on Zoom the other day. And she was in her office, her desk. I'm at my desk in Florida. She's in Kansas. And my introducer is at his desk, the attorney, on Zoom in St. Louis. It's an hour call. And she said to me, I think I need my son to meet you. He's a financial planner. He needs to get a Golden Goose. So it's everybody wants a Golden Goose, even your attorney friend Heather. But you probably don't have 3 CPAs to introduce today to her or 2 financial planners. What we need to do is get you back into her office saying you have an idea. Now, we've got a presentation for you in our school that says if you get to sit down with a Golden Goose, which you have a really good relationship with, what do you say when you're in the boardroom? Because you're no longer a client. You're a relationship rainmaker. You're part of her sales team. You're supposed to expand their business. It's better to give than it is to receive. We got to give first. If you give to just 3 people that need introductions, you're golden. I mean, your career, if you're closing 2 a month, you just got to find a way to get those people to say, Robin, I've got another listing for you. Robin, I got another listing for you. 7 or 8 a year that close. That's really, it's like if this were day 1 of your career and somebody said, Robin, you got to build it not off family and friends, not off Zillow. You just got to build it off of a Golden Goose. And that Golden Goose has got to give you 7 to 8 deals a year, and you're fine. So you have a good relationship. How do we get you back in there? When you were there, were you in a boardroom or a small office? Where were you sitting?
In a conference room,
There you go.
boardroom.
Boardroom. Very good. We got to get you back in the boardroom. And they like you. They want you as a client. And if you said, you guys' services have been so outstanding, I think I got some CPAs I would want to introduce you to, or financial planners. Could I come in maybe for a 5 or 10-minute meeting? Because I think I could get you guys introduced, but I've got a few questions I'd like to kind of pop by. Now, ideally, you're always there with somebody else. There's 2 of you and there's 1 of them. It's kind of like a power play. If it's just you against an attorney in there, that's not a fair fight. We need you and maybe a loan officer. But it's you and somebody else. The meeting's just different if there's 2 of you and 1 of them. It just seems more serious if there's 2 of you. I didn't take any meetings one-on-one. I always had somebody there with me. And just, it balances out the room. It seems less tense, that's less tension. So every time you do a presentation to a Golden Goose, and ideally the introducer's there with them, but you already know the Golden Goose. And why is a second person necessary? It just changes the dynamics of a room. It's kind of like mom sitting down with a teenager who misbehaved. But if mom and dad are sitting down, it means more. If there's 2 people, not to get aggressive, but just it changes out. It's less confrontational. When I went through account acquisition school, they were always like, you got to have somebody there with you. It'll change the dynamics of the room. It's when you read all these books on negotiating, it helps to have well, I'm not saying good cop, bad cop, but it helps to have two people, somebody there with you. So in summary, go ahead.
So I was looking at their website, and they have seminars occasionally for estate planning and Veterans Affairs and Medicaid, trust funding, and all that. So I was thinking maybe if I went to maybe one of the estate planning seminars, then that might be another way to approach, so to speak, as because I'm sure it has to be one of those, attorneys that specifically deals with the elder care, the elder law. And I don't know, do it that way. What do you think about that?
Great idea. It's a great idea. And if you go to elder law websites, not just that one, imagine you checked up 10 and you found all these events that were going on. And you went there to learn more about the process because this is your niche. And your niche isn't being a realtor. It is, that's how we just, uh, that's just part of the business. The niche is your job is to find 3 or 4 sources that give you business, and then you're done running your business. You just got to just service the sellers. So your niche is right now get educated in a particular niche. Let's call it elder law, and let's say specifically estate planning, because oftentimes the estate planners are also probate attorneys. So have you ever been to one of these webinars? Or, sorry, seminars, because they're live.
Um, Not with this company, not with this specific company, but yes,
Right.
I have been to. I get notices all the time where they have dinners here or luncheons there, and they're inviting me for. I'm gonna when I joined here, I said I'm gonna start going to those luncheons and talking to people.
You betcha. Yeah, there's your Golden Goose is at that event, and they may not be the speaker. It could be somebody else from the room. And
Mhm.
your job in the short run, in the next 12 months, that's all this is. This is not like for years and years you got to figure. No, next 12 months, you got to find your Golden Goose. And from uh, this conversation started with somebody you know already, and then as we're chatting, it's like, okay, I'm also at the website, and it would be going to these events over the next 12 months. We're going to go find 3 golden geese. And then you're set if you want to do 2 a month. If you want to close 4 a month, you're going to need 4, 7, 28. You're going to need a few. Let me think for a second here. If you wanted to close 4 a month, that's 48 closings in a year. 48 divided by 7, which is the most common number a Golden Goose is going to refer you. Well, 7 times 7 is 49, and you're going to close 48. You probably need 7 golden geese. That's all you need to be able to go, my business is set. Just take care of the Golden Goose and their clients. You don't need to go to networking events anymore. Just got to find a place where you get 7 to 8 closings sent to you from a single source. So the one that's a different strategy how to get back in. It's the one you're about to get to know. How do you get to know more of these elder law attorneys and what have you? I think it's a great idea. Go onto the website and then start going to meetings and understanding what's your role at the meeting. Who are you there that you get to walk up to? Like a Chamber of Commerce meeting. The beautiful thing about Chamber of Commerce meeting, there's no gatekeeper. They're just standing there with a plate of food and a drink in their hand. and a pocket full of business cards to hand out. Your job, if you find a probate attorney, it's not ask for the probate attorney, can I be your realtor? You know what, probate attorney? I'm like a relationship rainmaker. Who is a good introduction for you? You don't wait for them to answer it because a lot of times they go, I don't really know. You give them a list. CPAs, financial planners, or estate planners. Who are you trying to meet as a probate attorney? And Robin says, that's my job, to get you introduced so I can get introduced to your clients later. But we only give, we don't ask to receive. Account acquisition is first, what's their problem? How can I help them? Before I ever ask for anything. That's what a realtor does. May I be your realtor of choice? I don't know you. I don't trust you. I'm sure you're trustworthy, but I don't know you. Get away from me, agents. But we're not realtors. We can't even think of ourselves that way. We're there to build their business. So your job in this next 12 months is go to events and find out what other people need. Specifically, you talked about estate, probably not Medicaid so much, the Medicaid events.
Right.
But something with wealth management, dealing with the elderly. And so I think you hit the nail on the head, but there are two parts of this conversation. One's the relationship you already know. And you'd assume that they might just put you on the list, but let's book you a meeting, and keep in mind, it's a two-part meeting. The first part is all about who are you looking for? Who's a good introduction? Because I'm like a relationship rainmaker. I can find people to introduce you to because you guys are amazing with how you took care of my family. And that's the only reason I'm here. If part two opens up while you're there, that would be, by the way, I hold a real estate license. I'm an asset manager. It's a whole separate conversation. It's kind of like going on a first date, learning as much as you can about the other person without saying a word about you. Part two is, by the way, here's something about me. But sometimes part two, you never bring up. We've been taught ABC, always be closing, always close, try to close and try to close. No, this is an account worth $100,000 a year. We are not there to close them. We're there to build a relationship. If you never get to part two, let me tell you about me. That's okay. Because we're trying to grow an apple tree that'll pay us for 20 years. Because that's what apple tree will give you fruit for 20 years, 2025. And agents think short term. Can I pull an apple off the tree that fast? So it's really going to be two things. I'm going to ask you to game plan this for me and write something up. In a follow-up meeting for you and I, it will be, I'll give you this recording, and I want you to think through your current estate planner, how you're going to do a sit down. Well, the sit down is going to be about, the phone call to her is going to be all about, I've been thinking about you guys' services. You guys are outstanding. I think I can introduce you to some people. Can I come in for like a 5 or 10-minute meeting? Love to sit down with you, Heather, and walk you through how do I get you introduced to other people, CPAs, financial planners, kind of learn more about how you want to be introduced. That's her. But the other ones, the elder law events that they're going to have, what are you going to do when you're there? What are your plans if you were going to 4 or 5 elder law events this month? What are you going to do? And the last thing you should do is bring any business cards. It's not about you. You go to events to collect cards, not give them out. Because people are going to run them over or use them as a toothpick. They're not going to, don't give cards, get cards. Then you're in control of the next thing. More or less when you're at these elder law events, some people are like, well, look for listings, look for seniors. No, that's small potatoes. Are you guys looking to buy or sell? Here's my business card. Don't be an annoying realtor. We're there to be introduced to a golden goose who will do a sit down with you when you say to somebody, what do you do day to day? And the guy goes, I'm a probate attorney or whatever the case. And the goal is to say, well, I introduce probate attorneys to what's called the Golden Goose, to retirement homes, directors, or CPAs or financial people who have clients who die. And if we could ever do a sit down, Bob, you meet them at the wealth management presentation and say, I help people get connected to pipelines, to a golden goose. If we could ever do a sit down, I'd love to find out what your needs are to grow your business. They're going to be, who are you? What do you do? The last thing you want to do is, I'm a realtor. That comes second. So give me some feedback on this. What do you, I know people want something that worked really fast, but this is relationship building. We're landing whales, accounts with 100 grand a year. People want instantaneous results. This ain't Zillow, So what do you think of what we've kind of covered here?
I'm sorry, what kind of what?
Yeah, what do you think of what we covered here today?
I think that well, I already knew that this is not like a fast pace, something that's going to pay off right away. I know it's a process. It has to be nurtured and to build a relationship with people. So it's not like I know absolutely I'm not going to walk in the office and say, like you said, I'm a realtor, can you give me your business? So I do know that it is a process and it's going to take some time, but I want to, I'm not totally sure. And it just hit me when you were talking, looking, and I was looking at their website that they have the seminars. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, this might help. And then you suggested to go to, other elder law offices and do the same thing. And I'm like, okay. So I'm kind of like putting this process together and trying to, see what I'm going to do as far as just mapping out, I would say like 6 to 10 different law firms that do that. And I think once I go to the seminars and see how, because I've been to a couple of them, and they were like estate planning, and from what I gather, they're trying to get our business, right?
Yep.
And so that's mainly what they're talking about. So what I'm trying to figure out, because I'm kind of new to the elder law, but I'm kind of in it myself because my husband, he's got dementia and I got a lot to deal with him.
Mhm.
So this is like a perfect niche for me because I'm living it. So
Nice.
um yeah.
Um,
And I think since it's already a part of my life, I can have, even though I don't have it all in my head right now, I think as the process goes and as I go to different things and expose myself to different things, I will get better and have more ideas in how to
yep.
proceed.
You know what? You look at these events as education, and to say, I'm going to make a living off in one niche. I'm not going to do just listed postcards everywhere. And I'm not going to do um, um, just listed, just sold at open houses and Zillow and Fizbos and things like that. I'm going to make a living off of a niche, and not my friends and family, nothing like that. 80% of my business is going to come from 2 or 3 sources. And so when you're in that room, you're thinking differently. Realtors thinking about passing the business cards out at break. And the thing is, the Golden Goose is holding the event, is doing the same thing realtors are doing, looking for one-off. Does anybody in the audience need my planning? What he needs is you to help him get an introduction to a CPA that may have 50 clients a year who need elder law planning and 10 clients a year who die. Literally the webinar is doing the exact same thing a realtor's doing, looking for one deal at a time. You know, trying to talk to a room and see if I can get 7 sit downs. Remember, it's a free lunch. They're giving a steak lunch, they're giving tacos, whatever they're serving, hoping that they can get 7 sit downs to go over their wills and trust and maybe get 1 or 2 clients. They're doing the very same thing a realtor's doing when they're doing a seminar, looking for one deal. You're there, the hero in the room, to say, you know, I think I can get you a pipeline. Webinars are great, but what if you're introduced to 3 CPAs that all had 1,000 clients? Would that interest you? Now, when you do it the first time, it may come out odd. But when you've done it enough times, it's natural. And if you practice at home, like you're at the webinar, you stand up literally with a pad of paper in your home as if they're standing there with you. There's a crowd of 50 people at the event. You got the guy at the front one-on-one. You're asking 3 or 4 questions. Practice it at home 10, 15 times, like you're standing there literally with a dude in a suit. And it won't seem odd when you do it in person.
So how do I, first I have to get build some relationships with CPAs, right? Because I don't really have any relationships
Nope.
with, I don't.
Nope. Go fish first. Go fish and see what they're biting at. And the guy goes, you know what? Yeah, I'd like to meet an estate planner. That would be good. And I'd like to meet some CPAs. And let's say this guy says to you, why don't you come by my office? You're now having your second emotional deposit. There's a book called The 5 Love Languages. Realtors should read The 5 Love Languages. You have one. Your husband has one. Your brother has one. The attorney has one. The assistant to your attorney you met with has one. We all have one. It's interesting. For realtors, we're in the business of working with people who are going through transition in life. Their husband is ill. Grandma died. The job got relocated. Suddenly the family's unhappy. And we've got to be able to match all these personalities, and while we're serving people or hoping to serve them. So you're going to, at these events, you're going to meet people with different love languages. We're also, you know, the disc personality. I know more about choleric, not to get political or anything. Trump is really choleric, Trump. Now there's good and there's bad choleric. And you've got then sanguine, which is the happy-go-lucky kind of fun-loving person. And then there's melancholy. And there's 4 different kinds of personalities, and there's 5 different kind of love languages. When you understand these things happen easier. And now you're going to get a mosaic from us, a book with your picture in it and your AI voice talking, and it's going to be you standing there. And after your meeting at the webinar, at the seminar, you're going to send it to all these people you met. And we have a book for you that will be your voice. And it actually goes into the 4 learning styles. Kinesthetic is touching. Then you've got visual, you've got hearing, and it's what are the 4? Touch, feel, see, hear. Well, an email doesn't do that. Our Mosaic books do. And for being part of Project 84, we're going to give you, don't give me your business card. You're going to send him your Mosaic, which is so much more powerful. And it puts you at a different level than a realtor. So we're going to help you connect the dots. And it's like, how do you keep going these webinars? You don't need to know CPAs yet. You need to find out what they're looking for. And ideally, the attorney from the event says, let's do a sit down tomorrow at my office, in my boardroom. You're now sitting with a golden goose. Because what you did and what you said at the event, and you were smart enough not to give your business card. It'll ruin everything. I'm a realtor. No, I'm a relationship rainmaker. That's my job. And I'm an asset manager in real estate. I hold a license. In real estate, we don't really want to say we're a realtor. We're an asset manager. I work with hedge funds because you and I work together, and I work with hedge funds. So we collectively work with hedge funds, relocation companies, probate attorneys. We work with retirement homes. I'm an asset manager. I happen to hold a real estate license. Or you can say I'm a realtor. Which one sounds better? I'm an asset manager. We work with hedge funds, relocation companies, probate attorneys, CPAs, what have you, wealth managers. I happen to hold a real estate license. And we just don't want to go, I'm a realtor. That kind of, oh, I know what you do. You're one of those. But we're not one of those. We just need a few sit downs with a few different golden geese, and you're golden. As long as you don't go for it, just don't lean in and say, let me tell you about me.
Right. Make it about them.
Yeah, we're inconsequential at this point. And it's what we can do for them. It may take 2 or 3 meetings, but once you get that well pumped and you're getting your first listing, how do you get your second listing from a probate attorney? Take care of the first one. Above and beyond, the service you do is amazing. And the family goes, Robin was amazing. You eliminate the other realtors on the list. And that golden goose has got 25 to 50 a year to give. Eliminate the other realtors. Take over the whole account. It's an hour and a half from you, take the listing. Somebody goes, it's too far away, take the listing, own the account. If it's 80,000 and you don't want 80,000, take the listing. Take everything from that attorney. He needs no other resource but you. Because in 84 months, you're going to sell the account to another realtor because you own the account. Take everything, give them Ritz-Carlton service. As long as you're making $250,000 or whatever it is a year, you're happy. Just don't let anybody else serve that account. Because they're trying to take it from you, aren't they? Nobody wants you to win. No other realtor goes, well, this would be fair. Let Robin get 5, I get 5, and somebody else goes, no, it's yours. It's Golden Goose, it's just yours. That's how valuable your events are, your seminars, which means you practice before you go. Again and again, stand up, literally stand up in your home, act as if you're standing there with somebody with a suit. It's at the break, and you get to walk up. You have 2 minutes to say, hey, I'm Robin. I introduce probate attorneys and estate planners and wealth managers to CPAs and financial planners. I run the Business Development Coalition because that's what we have for you. You've seen that book at last Wednesday's event, the Business Development Coalition, and you run it for your marketplace. And you might say, what is that again? You'll see. That's where we want to position you. Not you're a realtor. You run the Business Development Coalition for what city do you live in?
Palm Bay.
Palm Bay. That's what you run. You connect people in the network. It's all free, the network, but you are the major connector. And so it's just new language for you. Well, for every agent we meet, nobody says this stuff. So what I'd like you to do, I'll get you the recording of this. And I want you to kind of game plan this out, where you got your current Heather, you got your 10 or 11, whatever you just said, elder law firms. Let's put your business plan in writing, in a Word doc, unpack what we've done here. I'll help you kind of break it out further in a follow-up, but I want to see how you process this and realize, describe to me your role in the boardroom with Heather, the one you know, and the ones that you don't know. What do you see your role as? What did you hear here? What are you processing, your thought process? And it's an exciting time for you in a way, what you're going through in your life, what you've done with with these guys in the past, and the research you did while we're talking. Let's just formalize this and into a document. It's kind of your business plan. You have 12 months to get 3 accounts, and you're golden. And give exceptional service, so the attorneys start eliminating the other realtors. That should be part of your business plan. Eliminate my competitor. I'm not trying to be mean. They're trying to get rid of you. Nobody wants you to get those deals. They want the whole account to themselves. But you do have to take the low end ones that may not be in the perfect area to get the 1.9 million ones.
Mhm.
I took a listing one time for $15,000 from a probate attorney. I'd rather have paid him to not make me do that. Can I just give you money? And but you know what? I took it because I wanted not let any realtor in on the account, because I want to sell it one day, and I want the whole account, not just part of it. So if it's 2 hours away, you got to ask yourself, if it's vacant, it's easy to manage if they're vacant. So any last questions or thoughts?
No, you gave me a lot to think about, and I got some research to do to find more elder law attorneys around here in the area and exactly what they offer to, get an idea of, because I did see that their next seminar with Heather, as you call it, is August 4th. So, and that's for estate planning. They also do trust funding as well. But their next estate planning one is August 4th. So that gives me some time to
What's interesting is
prepare.
if you make an appearance at the next 5 in a row that they're doing, we're not asking, we just keep learning. We keep building emotional deposits. By being present, it's an emotional deposit. By asking for something, it's an emotional withdrawal. And agents ask for things like a buy owner. You're there for a half hour. Can I list your property? You're making a withdrawal. In a bank, you didn't make a deposit in. And we're taught, close them, get the listing. You didn't make any emotional deposits. And you're trying to make a withdrawal. There's nothing in the bank emotionally. And the advice that we're given sometimes is bad. Always be closing. Go for it. Go for it. There's no love there yet. Not yet. By your presence at this event and helping out, heck, even helping out when she says, these things are hard on me because I've got to print this stuff up and I've got to do this and that. I've got to coordinate and go, you know what? I could do that. Make deposits. The best one is an introduction, at least an offer of an introduction. So kind of capture all this and go, I know my role. I'm an account executive and I'm getting it. I'm understanding what I really need to do. And if I do this really well in 1 year, I'm done going to events. I'm just handling referrals given to me by Golden Goose. I can run this thing for about 84 months or whatever it is until you can go, I want out of the business. I'm going to start selling my accounts to other realtors by introducing them to who? Heather. And somebody else will go, I'll pay you a referral fee for 5 years on every deal I get out of Heather and the other people. Begin with the end in mind. Stephen Covey, 7 Habits for Highly Effective People. Begin with the end in mind, which is what you and I are doing right now. We're trying to think about 84 months from now, when you leave the business, if you do, you're going to have a pension plan. All these accounts are going to keep paying you because you had all these emotional deposits. It's easy to hand the account over if you have high emotional deposits. They'll let you do it, provided they like the other person who takes over your accounts. But it's you to select who's going to run account 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. One person cannot take over 6 accounts. You could run 6, but it's hard to turn 6 over to somebody. It's a lot of trust in case they screw it up. But that's down the road. Have we not a cause, right? Have we not a cause? Yeah, I'm excited for you. This is, we've had a couple of these conversations, and I could tell you get it. You're processing. Let's put it in writing. See where maybe the missed parts are, and go to that seminar. The question is, as you leave the seminar on August 4th, because this is your business plan, you're going to write this up. What are your expectations when you leave there? What are your expectations when you're going to interact with her? What are you going to do? This is like an NFL football game. Let's think about this before we make the play. You're going to an event. I'm going to hand out cards. No, we're not even bringing cards with us. We only collect cards. And what am I going to do with people in the audience? What am I going to do with the speaker? What if I don't have a chance to speak to the speaker? There's just no opportunity. What's my follow-up email? What's my thank you that's going to go out to her, whoever led that event? This is an NFL game. It pays big. What are you going to do? Not one of these people go, I go to events and nothing ever happens to me. Well, what was your game plan? Well, I brought a stack of cards. There you go. You went with the wrong mindset. Last thought here. Can somebody go with you? It's just better when you go, you're not solo. You're there with somebody else who has potentially something to gain. Sometimes it's a loan officer because they're just like realtors, always looking for a deal, always handing out business cards. But they want CPAs because CPAs are easier to deal with than realtors are. And CPAs clients need to refinance their properties. CPAs clients are moving, have a house to buy. They're going to need a mortgage. So loan officers want financial planners and CPAs. That's a golden goose for an LO. So there's a reason they might go with you. Plus, they want your business. And, oh, sure, Helena or Robin, I'll go with you. Yeah, sure. I love you. I support you. They just want your deals. We need them to start thinking as well. Account driven, account driven, account driven. You get a good LO. You find a good running buddy. I took LOs to a lot of builder meetings because my brother and I listed tons of subdivisions, not just the spec homes, the whole subdivision for builders. Our in was loan officers, because LOs always know builders. Can I put my stuff out there? Says the LO. Can I put my rate sheet out there? Can I give a special rate, for your spec homes and things like that, or to be built, stuff like that? And builders are like, sure. And you want to land builders, find an LO. You want to land a retirement home, find a food services company that services their food. They go out there every day with fresh food. Food services company, they deliver the food for them. So don't ever go after the retirement home. Go after the vendor that goes to the retirement home as a relationship. It could be the janitorial service, lawn service. It could be food services. Who are the vendors to any Golden Goose? That's where you build the relationship. It isn't the Golden Goose to begin with. It's the one that knows the Golden Goose. We've been taught, go directly after the king or the queen, because they have all these deals. Nope. Go after somebody they know, who will introduce you and stand up for you and say, this is a good gal, a good guy. You got to meet this person. How did I get a probate attorney meeting in Kansas City and I'm in Florida? Because he knew the Golden Goose. They're in different states. It's always get introduced, always by introduction only. But you're about to go to an event where you're going to introduce yourself, which is fine, as long as you don't go for it. It is better to give. You can finish it.
And to receive.
Yeah, we are givers. So train your brain on everything we just talked about. Because it's so new, your brain's going to reject it. Everybody's does. This won't work. This is too hard. I just want a Zillow lead and I want something. I want to go to an open house. I want to meet a buyer who walks in. And the brain will actually fight, because we all have bugs, beliefs undermining our goals. Everybody has bugs. You got to retrain our brain. When I say stand up and practice it, I'm totally serious. Stand up in your home, practice it as if you're standing there in the webinar, at the seminar, and you will succeed. I've got a meeting that's coming up in a minute here.
Okay.
I'll send the recording. I look forward to you writing it out.
Thank you for your time. By the way, I love your t-shirt. That's my second home.
Oh, Jamaica. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks again.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.